Out of the room.
Madam Chair, we are live.
Thank you, Mrs. DeBrock. We'll go ahead and call our meeting to order. We are attempting to get Mr. Burtonshaw back on the phone. Might be in a bad service area, but otherwise we'll just excuse him from our meeting today. I will go ahead and lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The floor will be open for a motion to approve the agenda.
Madam Chair, I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Mrs. DeGrod, do we have any public comment sheets? No. The floor will be open for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Madam Chair, I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Thank you. Do we have any purchase spending?
No,
Okay.
no, we can move right to the forefront too.
Transportation.
So,
Awesome, Mrs. Hicks, thanks for joining us.
so each year it is a requirement to have the board review the transportation plan. We've invited Ms. Hicks to come in and present that. So Nyla, thank you for being here. I will pull this up on the screen and I'll let you just take the floor if you want to.
Okay. This year for the new transportation program. Ms. Popper.
We got it.
That's the number. Okay, perfect.
No, I just wanted to make sure that
They
they
are
had
on
on
me. Our goals, the main goal is to transport students to and from school and or school sponsored functions safely and efficiently. So we hire and retain the most qualified drivers to transport our children, keep the driver pool up to date with the latest training methods and ideas. They're training today, they are required to have 3 hours training before school starts. But I have to compliment our staff. We have really good people, really good, dependable, qualified people. So I'd really like to compliment them. We try to purchase the best equipment for the job as economically as possible. We organize routes to be as efficient as possible. We organize routes to have similar student counts and organize routes to have similar AM pickup times for first riders on the bus when possible. And that's been pretty good. The next is we have a list of all of our buses. We did get a new one this last spring, bus 25. And right at this time, we're gonna save that as one of our activity buses. So we can continue putting miles on our older buses and save miles on the newer ones. Panther bus seems to be running really well right now, so we're happy about that. Mickey Williams retired this last spring, so we are short a driver, but we are training somebody right now. Hopefully that, so they can fill that position. The next is a list of all of our drivers and the bus number they'll be driving and where they drive to, along with our subs. A little over halfway down, we have undetermined driver. That would be Mickey's route that we haven't got a driver for that one yet, but he is in training and should be ready within, I'd say within the next few weeks. He should be ready to go. He's really been on it and doing a really good job. Because of where we live, we have a lot of turnaround in people's yards that we have to, they're at the end of a lane or something and we have to go into their yards and turn around. And so those are the locations of where the buses have to go in yards and turn around and so they get off the main highway. And then we have safety busing, which is the students that are 1.5 miles from the school. And we pick them up because we don't have sidewalks, stoplights, crossing lanes like that. So the buses pick them up inside that, and it gives a list of where those roads are there. And are there any questions?
Just looking at your list here, some of these route buses have really high mileage, 188,000, 169,000. Would you recommend, we just bought a bus and they're really cheap.
The sarcasm on that.
I'm just wondering, do we need to be looking at buying another one?
Yes, we do. we get reimbursed from the state. We have, what's the word?
Depreciation.
Depreciation on any bus that's 12 years, first 12 years. And so every year we get depreciation, and that money goes into purchasing a new bus.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on
And
speaker.
so that's how we,
Let's just present the,
get those
transportation
buses purchased, but have the money for the buses.
Mhm.
And right now, that's why we're leaving 25 not on a route, because we're trying to get the mileage on the ones that, trying to save the newer buses.
Right.
So we can get the older ones we're out. And try to be efficient that way for mileage.
Okay.
So the number, is that the year the bus is?
It's really close to what the year is.
Okay,
It's really, yeah, it's really close, but 25 is actually 27. By the time I ordered it, I thought would be that number anyway, but it's a 27, but they're close.
okay.
we ordered it in 25 but it took the company.
Good time to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
we ordered it 25, but it was a year out.
Okay.
It was over a year, actually.
well, I just asked because I'm just wondering how old is bus number 13 and like years wise?
Those are really, really close to what the year is.
Okay,
Some of them are spot on, some of them are off just 1 year.
okay.
Where it's taking so long to get one. Are we on the list to get another one?
Now they have upped their production. They said we can get one now in about 6 to 7 months.
Okay.
So they have gotten things worked out a little bit.
We wanna look at maybe taking possession of one next July,
Mhm.
cause
So that's what the discussion when it is, right now. We use the depreciation money that comes back to help pay for buses and plant facility. Again, like when I first started, we said plant facility, we levy $300,000 from the community for plant facility. It used to be 85,000 to buy a bus, now it's 170, 180. So when that happens, that eats up more than half of our plant facility. We chose not to increase our plant facility last time. But also that levy was ran before inflation. That was when buses were 130,000. And so we have had discussions before, but do we increase it? Do we not? At this point, I think if we got another one that came in on and took possession in July of next year, that would be in not this fiscal year's plant facility, but in the following one, 27. And so I don't know, Mrs. DeGraw, do you have anything else to add from the budget side from what you're seeing?
I was just trying to look up how much our depreciation was this year. But where we don't have, I mean, we've gotten 3 new buses or 4 new buses since I came. But that's in 6 years. And so we have a lot of older buses. The bigger districts buy at least 1 bus a year, multiple buses a year because they can.
When Greg was working with visiting with Jefferson District, I believe with their depreciation schedule, they could buy 2.5 to 3 buses from their depreciation schedule. And so
Not getting to iBus right now.
So that is a strategy that our district could work towards. If we purchased new buses every year for 3 to 4 years, maybe 5 years in a row, that depreciation might be enough where it just automatically starts buying a new bus. The tricky part with that is then we are now moving usable buses out of the fleet earlier. And so the perception of that is, it's tricky, like business wise, that might be a good business investment, but will our community completely understand that? Some will say, yeah, get the best, but others are gonna say, you're getting rid of a nice piece of equipment. Why keep buying more? I have a question, Mrs. DeBrar, that we need to look into.
Yes, sir.
The depreciation schedule comes off of a percentage of the total amount of money on it.
So it's purchased and then each year we get a percentage and the percentage decreases over time
So
each year.
so now that
So that
as we,
essentially the state's paying us back for the bus purchase, but at a decreasing level.
That is, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. And so I think we're probably getting between $45,000 and $60,000 a year right now to offset it. That's still taking
That's still taking a
more than a third of our plant facility. Which is concerning on a budgeting side.
especially where plant facility has been used to help make up for the ability to use money for maintenance. Where the lottery money got put into the facility fund, facility funds can only be used on capital projects.
General maintenance.
We've had to use plant facility now for general maintenance, custodial. Like,
We used to take all of our custodial supplies out of the 100 fund because of those lottery funds.
but now that the lottery funds, so the best way to explain that, it's been a shell game.
Right,
Things have been moved around on how the money comes, and which remind me when we get to the supplemental levy part about just a point that I want to make about shell game and the reason why. Like, we couldn't be able to do a bus purchase without our plant facility. And so the plant facility is crucial
right.
for that.
I just am concerned because I see this list of bad engine buses, they're just over 200,000 miles, and some of our route buses are creeping up on that.
If I could give you a history, in the last 26 years, since 2022, 26, there's only been about 3 to 4 years that we have not purchased a bus. And we are where we are right now.
So
We didn't buy one during COVID. And we didn't buy one in 24.
We didn't buy one after 08 when we had the crunch, we didn't buy a 11 or 12.
yeah. So we should probably get one on the book to
To be next July,
next July,
to be next year's budget.
but we'd have to make that decision this year. We make it. This,
Decide now so we
Next-
can
Yeah.
get
Next
on the
month.
production.
if we decide in the next couple of months as a school board, I bring that to the school board. Would you be able to have one picked out in a couple months for us?
Yeah, I think we could.
Okay.
Yes, and if they're able to do that within 6, 7 months, you're not gonna want to order it until
Until-
maybe January.
Hey, that'd
If
be a
you're
good
gonna put it on
timeline.
the next fiscal year.
I do know that, again, when Greg went over to Rigby, I went with them. And isn't Greg taking the group of bus drivers up right now?
They're there now.
So one of the things that he's gonna do with his bus drivers right now is they are going to get in and sit behind 3 different company type of buses. And so they're gonna sit behind a Thomas, they're gonna sit behind a Bluebird, they're gonna sit behind an International. And maybe even be able to drive them around the yard over there at Jefferson School District's transportation department. To get feedback from our drivers on which bus to order, so. So that'll be really good for us to be able to find that. Other things that when I say they, Jefferson, because they have hundreds of buses and they have a lot of experience. Some of the things that they've done with buses is looked for buses with the under storage compartment, which does add about another $8,000 on it. But if you have a yellow bus that has that storage compartment underneath, then it also acts double as an activity bus. And also when they take their band and things, they can put all the band instruments underneath. You had a question, Emily?
I had a question for Mrs. Hicks. So would your recommendation be that we look at getting a new bus? We look at the mileage, but you're the one that's actually working with the buses.
I would say yes, because of the history. When you look at, like I say, last 26 years, there's only been 4 to 5 years, maybe not even that many, that we haven't purchased. And we have a full fleet right now with 3 good buses that are spare buses, but the one has got 224,000 miles on it. Yeah, but it's running really well, but you never know. But yeah, we have 3 spares right now, they're really good, 4 now with 25, because we have that spare one there. But they are getting old and they are getting high in mileage. We do travel a lot out here with all our we're just so spread out.
So how do you manage those, that mileage? Because the routes are probably different
They are.
mileages themselves.
Last year we swapped Kathy Ivy, she was in 15 and her bus was really low mileage, but 16 had really high mileage, and so we swapped, and we just do that, we watch the mileage and put them, the ones that are getting a lot racked up, we'll put them on a smaller route to try to extend the life of them. And put one with less mileage on a longer route, just to try to keep the miles balanced out.
Okay. And how many miles do you expect is the life expectancy of a school bus out here on our roads?
Well, 05, it's got, like I say, 224,000 miles on it, and it's doing really well. But we have some that blow at 150.
Mhm.
And
Okay,
you just never know, they're like your car.
Which one we
I
had?
wanted it to be more predictable.
What year is the one that we had the most repairs on? Was it 15? No. There was one that was giving us a lot of trouble.
14,
14.
yes, we put a lot of money into 14. And it's an older bus, and what was it sitting at? See, it's only at 158 right now.
But the decision was made to put that money into it because it's a lot cheaper than $180,000.
So I did put, and the bus is running really well. It's on Danilee. Danilee has it right now, and so she's running it from Longview and back and putting miles on it, just so we can get our money's worth out of it.
I think it's just ironic that 05 is like still running really well, and
I took it on a route last year, and I was like, this is really a nice bus. It's old, but it just runs really well.
Well, I appreciate the care you take in maintaining what we have.
Thank you.
What time, just out of curiosity, in the morning, what time do the kids usually get picked up, the first ones?
Well, up in Hamer, we had a little boy clear up in Fremont County, and he was getting picked up 6:15, 6:30. He's a young one. But that was when Hamer started at
7:45.
7:45. This year Hamer starts at 8:30, so it'll be later for him this year. That's just because he went to Hamer, and Hamer started so early, and he was way up there. But most of them, that is not the case.
Right.
Most of them, I think, are after 7.
Okay. Any more questions for Mrs. Smith?
Thank you for putting that together.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Let's see.
Okay. Well, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the West Jefferson Transportation Plan for the 26-27 school year.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the transportation plan for the current school year.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I would just like to say thank you again to Nyla. So
There's been a lot to keep track of. All right, those in favor, we should do a roll call vote now that we have Mr. Burton Shaw.
You're ready?
yeah.
Okay, Mr. Cottle. Mrs. Rigby.
Aye.
Mr. Burton Shaw.
No,
And we have Austin.
no, he says it's still there. Dyson, are you able to hear? Pretty absent on that one.
Okay. Mrs. Belknap.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. All right, supplemental levy renewal.
Okay. We've had some really good discussion over the past 2 or 3 months on our supplemental levy. We have received from so this will be the action item coming forward that I'm going to propose to the board. So school district proposes to renew its current supplemental levy at its current amount. The 360,000 supplemental levy allows West Jefferson to offer competitive salaries and benefits for employees. Board approval is required before submitting the resolution to Jefferson County. And once the resolution is approved, our legal counsel will review the language before submitting. What we received from our lawyers looking into this and our financial advisors were with this. This is the legal document that we will, if approved by the board, we will submit to the county. This has the official ballot language on it, with the supplemental levy. I have included this notice of supplemental levy elections, in the action item document. And then this would just need to be signed by the chair and the board clerk on that passage. The information. This would be the information, so we have learned that, and again, we'll review this with our lawyers. That, there is a way that we can include the offsetted information with 292 to help with that. But it's gonna have to be included with this language. This language has to be on it, and I believe
Let me see what else he said we had.
I believe it also has to have, oops. It also has to have some of this information, so it might be more of a trifold packet instead of just a small, short,
Not a postcard anymore.
not a postcard
Okay,
anymore. And so we want to make sure that we are following the guidelines in the law, making sure that we are communicating appropriately. The information piece really is gonna be super clear that the estimated amount before the offset would be $207.13 per 100,000. But with the offset money applied from 292, our local taxpayers would only be responsible for $34.60 per 100,000. I know that with our discussion that we just barely had with Mrs. Linger about what do we do about buses that are now cost. Technically, we could put in the language that we would like to spend money from this to go towards buses. But we would want to increase it. We could increase it by quite a bit and still be way under where we're at. I'm gonna propose that we just keep it as is, for right now. And in 2 years, we'll look at that and see where we're at.
Do we know how long the offset will last? Will that still be in effect 2 years from now?
That's one of the things that is an unknown entity. That's why we can't go out and say this is how it's always gonna be.
There
Right.
isn't a sunset on this program, which is a positive. And it is currently written into code. It just depends on if somebody tries to change that code.
If the legislature went in and said we would like to take out 292 offset, that could happen during the legislative session. But as Mrs. DeGraw mentioned, there's not a sunset clause on it. So as long as it's not re-talked about at the legislative. it
I'm
should
just
be on.
wondering if now is not the time to really capitalize on, if we're able to share with the public purpose of the offset and what it does for them,
Yeah,
would it be a good time to increase?
I don't know.
The concern about increasing is you risk losing all of it.
Yeah,
I think people are nervous too, with the way inflation has been. Just look around.
Well, and they're not wrong with the increase in inflation, but that would be the same concern that we would have here.
Right.
But I don't, I just feel like if we risked increasing it, the history has been that when people have increased levies,
Mhm.
that they usually lose it. And if we lost it, we still have enough, I guess, funds right now to purchase the buses if we're going kind of every other year. But we're in a good spot for that.
so it wouldn't, so we have a plan to get like we were just talking to transportation, we have a plan to get that bus that we were just
Yeah.
talking about.
Well, we have a plan to look into doing that. The board would still have to approve that.
Right,
Yeah.
yes, that is an important step, thank you. But in the budget, like there's a plan for where that money's gonna come from and
Mhm.
how that could work without increasing the levy.
Yeah, I just feel like if the risk of losing the supplemental levy is going to hurt individual families who live here in the community.
Huge risk.
Like, it's not gonna hurt our teachers, it's not gonna hurt me, it's not because I don't get paid from the supplemental levy. But we do supplement some of the teachers' salaries to provide that competitive amount to have them come out. We are retaining teachers that are experienced. That doesn't mean it's a 100% guarantee that somebody might not choose to go to the school that they graduated from, or take a job at the State Department because it's a different career opportunity. Those people weren't leaving because of the supplemental levy. Those were outside of that. But if the supplemental levy did go down, we would see our custodial, our maintenance, our classified employees, those individuals who live here and work here would be impacted by it. So, but I hear what you're saying. I think it could be worth a discussion, but I don't really know. We would have to have more people understand that benefit. Cause I think the biggest thing is I'm gonna show right here with the 26-27 year, which is coming up. The biggest thing is our bond projects are falling off. And that bond was something that our community did support us in. And the board did a really good job of saying, hey, let's take care of all of our roofs right now. Cause that bond came in 22-23. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4. It should have been one more year on that carry, isn't it? Or do we pay it off? Do I have that wrong?
It passed
In 21,
in 21 and we started paying on it in 22.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then it falls off here,
Mhm.
so.
And we increased early on how much we were paying on it up front.
Yes, so that's why we're paying it off a little bit
Correct.
early.
Correct. So whatever we levied for is what they billed us for
Mhm.
during that fiscal year. And so when we were able to have a reserve of 18 months, we did it that way. So we were able to pay it off faster.
My recommendation as the superintendent, let me go to this. Would be for the board to pass that the resolution go to the voters for November 3rd for the amount of 360,000, which is again the same as what it's been. When I look at the plant facility and the levy from a business standpoint, some people might say, well, why are you needing anything supplemental? Isn't the state providing everything for you that you need? And as superintendent, I can say there are some things that we get funded well from the state, and there are some things that we don't. And the shell game of moving things around, the facility money is very helpful, but it's not all completely new facility money because some of it was a shell game. They took some money that we were getting from one portion, put it into another pile and said, look at all this money that we're giving you. And so some of those things get moved around from the legislature. The benefit of a supplemental levy in a plant facility is that this is guaranteed money to come to us to utilize. Now, if we wanted to run our schools without the supplemental levy, we would look a lot different. And I think our buildings would suffer from it. And eventually it would cost the taxpayers more money down the road to have to build new schools to replace. So really right now, as superintendent, the community has blessed us so much by investing in education. I think it would be detrimental to the district long-term if we wouldn't be able to continue to maintain our buildings the way that we're doing.
The patrons that are asking those questions, is the levy necessary? I would invite them to look at a lot of school districts in the state of Idaho. And it shows you the state is not giving you everything you need.
Most, yeah, and we have been careful about how we use the supplemental levy. By not investing in teachers, like their full salaries. We do have a contingency plan, if the community does choose to not support us on this. We will do the very best we can with the funds that we receive, but it will be painful. For us, and so. There's no way around that, but we will do whatever, whatever we get.
77% of school districts have a supplemental levy.
All right. Well. What?
I don't like the idea of having to have a supplemental levy. But as I've looked over the budget and the reasons why we have one, I've been converted to the idea that this is the way we have to play the game because of the way the state has the funding. And I feel like I can support putting the levy in where I didn't think I would be able to before. And I want to vote no because I want the state to hear my opinion about their funding. But that is not the way to make the change because, like you said, Mr. Williams, it will be, I see the consequences of what it will do to the school and the staff and the students. And I feel like my role on the board is to make sure that the students have what they need so that they can learn. And so I need to look into how I can communicate better with the state. I know there's been some forums that have, is it Secretary Superintendent Critchfield? I don't know what her title, the right way to
So,
do that. She's had some things around the state and I feel like I need to put my voice there. If I don't like the supplemental levy, the solution would not be to vote no, but it would be to talk to the state about changing the funding.
I appreciate that perspective because I think in theory, when you hear supplemental levy, it sounds like you're living outside your means. You don't need it because it's supplemental. The supplemental really could be changed to optional or whatever the community feels like you need. But that is on the pretense that the state is providing everything for us. And where you look at the funding formula, which was created in 1994, and if you're thinking of the classified staff so classified staff would be anybody who's not a certified teacher and who's not a certified administrator, which we probably have more classified staff than we do certified staff. That's fair to say, isn't it? Right, when we look at all of our employees?
Yeah.
Or at least 50-50, at least half of them. In 1994, when they developed the multipliers for that, what did the internet look like back then? What did the infrastructure for technology? Our technology director and all the different things that they have to do, that's a classified position. How many reports and state reporting was required back then? You look at all the different federal programs that have bloomed. There's so many different things that are required now than were in 1994. And that funding formula has not changed, but what has changed is a couple of things. In 2005, 2006, when I've talked to previous ones, when school districts receive that money automatically before going through property tax, that was what schools could have to have predictability to maintain. And right now, if we didn't have the supplemental levy, we wouldn't have that predictability. And that's the part from this business standpoint. It's one of those things that is a public school, a public service. Just like your police officers, your road and bridge, everything else. You have to put money into it. It has to come from taxes. Taxes aren't popular. So thank you for sharing that.
I think it's pretty telling from what Mrs. DeGraw was able to look up, that nearly 8 out of 10 schools are having to do it, that. And I don't think that it's because 8 out of 10 schools are living the high life and,
No, and some of them did it because they did employ teachers or pay teachers more than others. And when those supplemental levies lost, like in North Idaho, they had to fire 30 to 50 teachers and consolidate classrooms and raise class sizes.
That's one thing that I don't want this supplemental levy to be is a vote of confidence for the teachers from the public.
Yeah,
And so I appreciate that isn't the supplemental levy we have, because I was previously in a school district and that's what it was. And my kids came home with flyers and tears in their eyes about how I should vote so they could keep their teacher. And anyway, so I appreciate that is not what's happening here.
okay. Any other discussion? Not, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the supplemental levy resolution for the amount of $360,000 for an election we held November 3rd, 2026.
Madam Chair, I so move.
Is there a second?
Second,
Yeah, Mr. Burtonshaw.
Tyson, are you there? Yep.
Super.
Yep, he said aye.
Mr. Cottle,
Aye.
Mrs. Rigby,
Aye.
Mrs. Belknap.
aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to information and discussion items, we have a few policies.
Just a couple.
So we decided to move these just to first reading again, after we made those changes, there were some new ones that came in. How do we want to go through all of these?
If the board has any questions about any of these right now, please ask. If not, I can provide a hard copy for anybody that wants a hard copy. And you can let me know if there are concerns in the next couple of weeks.
So you're inviting us to tell you what we found as we read through them.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so policy 3331.
3331 weapons at school.
Yeah. I have first, is this the only weapons policy we have?
Can you look at the bottom, Mr.
This is a family
Foster?
discussion question. So it's not
I,
3330.
yeah,
student discipline. Okay,
because it's part of that.
because it refers to it. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. We were, anyway, okay, thank you.
Yeah, so that information, the disciplinary part does come from that
Come from
policy.
there.
This is going to have some of that.
Okay, so this first section, weapons at school, gun-free schools, that last paragraph, any student subject to an expulsion, that
Go up, Shane. Sorry, Mr.
Right there.
Williams.
There it is.
right there, the little arrows right on it, that
Yeah.
mediation, that seems not to fit, and maybe it's the way I read it late last night, but
That might not,
that doesn't seem, anyway,
yeah, that shouldn't be there at all, I don't think.
so that paragraph is just that one sentence.
Do you have that marked on your copy?
I do,
Okay, if you can give that to me.
okay,
And that that's like something that got.
it's like a fragment sentence, weird, anyway, okay. This. So then. The 3330. I just have a question about that reviewed on. Did we look at that at the end of that policy? Did we look at that at our last meeting?
So this policy was reviewed at our last meeting.
Okay,
So this is, if we go all the way down to the,
Yep, I'm getting there.
okay, so it was adopted on April 28th, 2021. We reviewed it on July 29th. We have revised it again at this board meeting.
I'm sorry, are we looking at 3330?
Yeah.
Yes, do you see on the board, on the TV?
Yeah, it's different than the one I printed. That's what I'm looking at.
Should we have the revised also be reviewed, or is that?
It will shift as we go on.
Mhm.
So next month, it's gonna have reviewed on August 12th, revised. By the time we're done adopting the new policy, and I'm not sure how to fill this part out, but I wanted there to be a record as we went through of the different dates that we've been working through it. And so then the new adopted policy date will change.
I do not have the same one on the screen in front of me. Please help me.
Yeah, let me see what you have.
This is what I have, 3330.
This is 3295P.
Which one
That's even before that.
should I go to, Gary?
Okay, it's all right. It's just my pages are.
Yeah,
all messed up.
so part of it is just me not knowing how to
14.
do this effectively. So that's just the problem on that one.
Okay,
So our 3295P doesn't have a date for reviewed on.
Right, and so I should probably put that for today's reading.
Okay.
oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I just had my papers out of order. Wow, that
That's
was
okay.
a real rookie move.
3330 for student discipline sent me down a rabbit hole on ChatGPT because
Hmm.
it talks about corporal punishment, and so I had to see when Idaho did away with that. Which I was disappointed to see.
What did you find out on that one? Tell us what you found out.
It was later than I thought. I don't think they took it out legally until 2023. I was surprised.
Really?
Yeah, and then saddened. So
Oh, yeah,
I
right.
guess leave that paragraph in there that no longer,
You wanna be the one administering that?
to some kids, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know if you've been on a field trip lately.
Now we're all sad.
Or chair, saying.
Just kidding.
Good. I don't know if everybody can get the sarcasm that you laced on. Actually, your second sarcasm.
We need to turn the camera back on.
See the difference?
Okay, I have a question. My pages might be in order now. On the 3295P, this is probably legalese something the lawyer said, but like harassment is in 4 and it's in 5. Intimidation is in 6 and in 5. Why are we defining it?
That's the way the
Multiple
lawyers
times.
wrote it.
Okay, I've just needed to ask.
Yep.
Thank you. I was like, really?
Do those
Yeah.
numbers need to be changed though?
If I'm off on my count, yes.
I think,
2, 3,
Do
4,
they?
5.
and then 5 continues on the second
Okay,
page.
yes, so that one needs to be 6.
Oh,
there.
yeah, it does. 6
was
and then
formatting.
7.
Actually, I wonder if it would be better to take the 5 away,
And just make that one.
make that whole thing 4, because you have harassment includes that, but also harassment includes this and this. Number 5 is cyberbullying, and then you don't have to change 5 and 6. You just have to take out that 5 right
Yep.
there.
To put intimidation up there with. Because that
Yeah, that would be-
intimidation, the last one, is also in number 5. So do you
So-
wanna shove that over with that?
My personal feeling, you guys can tell me no if you don't want to, is if this is how the lawyers wrote it, there's a reason. And where this is such a difficult subject, if we remove something from this policy,
I don't know if we're removing anything though, we're just moving
but you
it,
see what I'm saying?
just renumbering.
I don't know.
You'd also need a space between B and C. And keep it consistent. with
Yep.
everything.
I actually think you could take out the 5 by the second harassment and have 4 be on both of those.
Combine 4 and 5?
Cause it's the same topic.
Yeah,
Look into see why they're divided,
I'm assuming not.
would that be okay?
yeah.
That was my first thought, is check to see if it has to be that way or if we can combine it, cause it feels like. But
I think you could keep the paragraphs separate.
I know, but I'm just,
Did the lawyers number them?
This is how it came approved from the lawyers through ISBA.
See, I would be more worried if we were changing any of the words or the definitions. I have. Cause this looks confusing to have harassment includes this and harassment includes this.
Is this how Idaho code is written though? And I'll switch it however we want, I'm just asking the questions.
Does it cost more money to ask them if it has to be this way or if we can remove them all
So
under
this
one?
question would go to ISBA and not to our lawyers,
Okay,
which we paid for their certi. And I did miss the webinar on this update.
It almost feels, now that I'm looking a little bit more closely at it, it almost feels like they took something from a code written in 1993, something that was updated from code that was written in 2004.
But they did not change.
They
any
didn't change anything, so I think you're probably getting two different. In a way, you have harassment by itself, then you have harassment, intimidation, or bullying. Do we have another one that says bullying anywhere else? Is that
intimidation on the last one. There are numbers.
then cyberbullying? So it's almost like the first number 5. They were looking to try to get bullying in there because harassment's defined up there above it, and intimidation is down below.
It almost looks like they're saying there can be just harassment without intimidation and bullying. There can be harassment with intimidation or bullying, and there can be intimidation without harassment or bullying. Is how I'm reading it.
And if that's the way if that's the way you're seeing it, then you would want to just go 4, 5,
Correct.
6 for cyberbullying and 7 for intimidation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's how it's numbered.
I could go either way, but we do know we can't have 2 number 5s.
I know that
Yeah,
one, and I'll
we
agree
know-
with that one.
We
wholeheartedly.
do know that. Okay. All right. Take out.
We go back to 3,300.
Yeah.
It seems like in our previous discussion, we decided to take out number 13.
Right there.
Yes. We talked about how
Yes,
we
we
felt like
did.
that would just be
And that
something
didn't
they
get
clicked
reached.
through and ignored.
Yeah.
That was my only comment. Keep to myself.
You want to take this 13 out and add a new one in?
I would. What would you like to add in?
No, not gonna.
Mrs. Belknap, can you cross that out, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I had to look at number 5 on that first page of that one, look alike, can be spelled as one word. I was like, that can't be right. I Googled it.
Go on.
There are 3 different ways you can spell that.
Which word?
Look alike.
Look alike. Anyway. Just
What? One
if
of the
anyone's
highest then.
curious, I looked it up.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I can remember going through different ones and say, is that right? Is that supposed to have a hyphen? Does it not? And it's just.
Yeah,
Okay, so
hear me.
I want the opinion, is cyberbullying 2 words, 1 word, or a hyphenated word?
Are you going back to?
Because I've seen it all 3 ways.
How do the
Didn't look
lawyers
that
write
one
it?
Yeah.
They've written it multiple ways. I've seen it written multiple ways within the same policy.
I thought where it was in quotes, we should leave it because it was quoted from somewhere.
Yeah.
I didn't even look that one up. I'm not a lawyer. I wasn't able to get through the last few,
That's okay.
the second time, but we went through it last time, so.
If you want to look through them over the next week and just
Okay.
give me some feedback.
Cause I gave you the ones from last time, so I was like, she probably got those in there and anyway. I'll need to take more time, so thank you.
That's fine.
I'm sure if there's other comments, you wanna.
Any other policy comments? If not, we will move on to the superintendent report.
Be quick and easy on this one. School is starting here quick, as we're getting ready to bring kids back. The first day of the high school is Thursday, August 20th. First day for K through 8 is Monday, the 24th. First day for kindergarten, or excuse me, preschool is going to be August 31st. We will have a welcome back staff meeting next Tuesday, the 18th. From my understanding, there will not be a board. Welcome.
Speaker?
Okay, I will recognize the board at that time. Have you stand, have everybody clap for you. Okay. How's that?
Is that worse?
I don't know.
That'll happen regardless.
I'm gonna,
Worse will happen regardless.
Yeah.
Or
Happen.
no clap. You guys are great.
I will be able to make it.
You did the.
Okay.
We will, for fiscal responsibility, we mentioned this in our discussion on the levies. Our last bond payment is August 31st. That will fall off, and because of that, that's where we see the zero right here on the 26, 27. But that, so super excited about
That
About
means the district is
that.
debt free. After that payment is due.
So district will be debt free after that payment. Remodel update, just so you know. We've had a lot of bumps and bruises with the remodel, but we've had some great people here. From Headwaters, working with the different contractors and everybody. So we had a meeting this morning before board meeting with them. To determine what it will look like when school starts. If everything falls into place, which it's looking like it will, the bathrooms for the elementary and the junior high will be functionable and ready to go for the first day of school on the 24th. And that is going to be with some coordination and everything else, but things are falling into place and it's coming together. They did have to have different contractors come in and in a perfect world, they wouldn't work over the top of each other. They'd come in and just each come at a different time. But some of them are working in. I just want to say thank you to the different companies and contractors that have been willing to come in and finish things a little bit early, because that just helps it go forward. So people recognize that it's a school and that they want the little kids to have the bathrooms. I don't know. The high school is not going to be that lucky. Our high school, we will have a bathroom trailer out for the girls. The boys would have options to use a porta potty or go to the Panther Den. So that's going to be for the first week at the high school. Great memories for those guys as they come back to school on that. But it's going to be amazing when it's all completed. With community relations and communications, we did have our registration last 2 days. Appreciate those people coming in and being able to get registered. That does help it make it easier to start the first day of school. I did want to just highlight that Territon PTO does have an acting PTO. It's been several years that there was not a PTO president. Just for people's information, the school district administration, we don't go out and create these, or we can invite people to be part of it, but this is a separate group outside of the school. And so just like any different volunteer organization, I think we live in a time where it's hard to get people to volunteer and put their efforts. We're seeing that with the Lady Lions in the community. Where things are kind of falling off, and we had two years or so where the PTO fell off here in Territon. And I don't think there's anybody to blame. I just think that's part of what happened. So I just want to say kudos to JC Hansen for stepping up. Some of her goals is to improve parent and teacher relationships, and I don't know why I have a capital teacher, but not a parent, that was not intended. Or anything. I can go back and change that. But just I appreciate that because there are so many good things that are happening in the school. That are being worked on and addressed. We know that there are always things to improve on. And sometimes I think there's just a disconnect with the perception that the school's not wanting to change or work harder or do different things. And I'm excited to have somebody come in that wants to help with that. She has some ideas for fundraising, but also just for volunteering and supporting teachers. And so appreciate her taking that on, and just encourage anybody else to become active in the schools and look to volunteer and be part of the PTO if they can.
Okay,
So
any questions for Mr. Williams? Right, Mrs. DeBrod, you see a reason we need to have a special board meeting?
Not at this time.
Our next regular meeting. September 9th. Thank you.
Mr. Grau, there was something in our last school board meeting, we talked about needing a work meeting or a special meeting for. I read it in the minutes. And I didn't print those
And
out.
it was in preparation for our July 29th board meeting.
Was it? Okay.
I believe so.
It might have been referring to that. I don't remember. I just,
we did do as we're looking at calendar events for the board. Last year, we did have our school board barbecue in the fall instead of the spring, kind of as a welcome back. So we could decide a day that we want to do that as well.
When did we do it last year? Was it in September?
I think we had our first supervisor meeting and then we presented a date to the board.
Should we do that then?
If I'm looking at the calendar, I would say September 22nd, which would be the last day before harvest break, might be fun to do that. Or one of the first days back in October. You know, that could be another thing that we could do.
Must be snowing.
Oh.
Well, actually, I was.
It could be snowing any day of the year. Another one would be either the 16th or 17th of September.
thank you. For
That is the week of homecoming. High school will have school on the 18th. High school still will also have a half a day on the 4th of September, or not a half a day, an early release on the, even though we don't have a football game that day.
Wait a second. The 4th, they have early release?
Yeah,
Okay.
September
Two
4th.
Fridays at the high school comes to school.
The 4th and the 11th.
Yeah.
Okay.
And part of that is just to get the hours required.
If we did it on September 17th,
Mhm.
could that kind of be in conjunction with their homecoming festivities?
I think so.
I probably wouldn't mind the 17th.
We don't have anything that day. Well, we'll just.
Let's pencil it in.
Be healed up enough by then. We should.
We present that to the supervisors. And
I'll
see
put
if
it
they
in
foresee
there.
any issue.
That way I won't schedule anything.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Okay, well, great. And next week, back to school meeting for us, the teachers. Tuesday?
Tuesday the 18th,
Okay,
10 a.m.
and,
That will be here in the ALC.
okay. All right. Will the floor be open for a motion to adjourn?
Madam Chair,
Is there a second?
Sorry.
Have we lost Mr. Burton?
Yeah, Mr.
Completely?
Burchard.
Okay.
Definitely.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?